Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, we only have few people today here, so while we are waiting for them, and let's just do some tests on your machine, see if you have the Python installed in your machine or not. So if you are using the math, you probably can do command space and just search terminal. Now you can find your terminal, like what I have here, the breadbox. And if you are on Windows, you can click on the search button on your right, on your left hand side. There's a search button. You click on the search button, just type cmd for command, and then you can open the command console, or we call it a terminal. So I'm going to show you on Windows. So I have a VirtualBox installed in my machine. Let me just turn it on. And then we have a Windows 7. So, like if you have a Windows, and you can go to, if you are on Windows 10, there's a search button over here. You can click on it. And like since I am in Windows 7, and you may just click here and type cmd, and you click on the first one. There's a C column slash, so you can open the terminal like in this way. Open this terminal, and after you open it, you type Python, and you should have the Python 3. Probably you have the Python 2 or Python 3.8, which means you already have the Python installed in your machine. Okay, so yeah, if you have type, you can do a test on your machine. Just do type Python and see if you have the Python 3.8 something. Like here I have the Python 2, since I have both of them, and I can do Python 3. So I have Python 3.7.6, but I have to type Python 3. Okay, which means if you are in Windows, you probably type Python, and if you go to Python 3.8 or 3.7. So that's the way to test if you already have the Python installed in your machine or not. Right? And the other thing for the PyCharm, like last time we talked about in PyCharm, and if you already install it, you can turn on the PyCharm. And let me see. And now you should have PyCharm installed. And like every time I just told you, if you don't have the folder, and you should create a folder in your desktop or anyway you can remember. And I create in desktop, my desktop, so that's why I can click open and go to my desktop, and I choose my projects or codings. It's up to you. And since I create one folder called coding, and then I can open my folder. And here we have the coding folder open. And once you open, you should have the coding, and there's a folder called V environment, which stands for virtual environment. All right, so just to let you know, and it's called virtual environment. And also we have the you can do some preference here. You go in your if you are on Mac, you can go just click PyCharm and preference. If you are on Windows, it should be either on File. Under here there's something called preference, or edit preference, and I don't have any idea. Maybe I just turn it on and let you see. But my one is on Mac, that's why I can go preference. And in the preference, like if I want to adjust the size, the font size, I can go to editor, and I change this font size from 18 to 28, and just make my the font size bigger. Okay, a lot bigger. And the other way, maybe you might concern about that, is let's see, yeah, probably if you have something long and you can go Google it, you will find the way to do the setting on your PyCharm. Okay, if you doesn't have the problem, and you will use as normal. Okay, and under the PyCharm here, so of course they're saying some to do, and if you, for example, you might have something to say to do, and forget to work on this part. Let's see, and you might have something here, so it will show up on this to do tab. If you didn't see what I saw it on my screen, and I'm gonna show you what this to do tab mean. So you have a to do tab here, right? So if you click the to do, what this to do tab is like, sometimes you do the coding, you might forget one part, or you may leave some note on your coding, and you just type to do. You type to do, and then you can, like here, I type to do, and it would be just links on this to do tab. And that's the way we leave something for us to go back to your code, and in case you forgot to do something, so we type to do, and there's a to do list here. Okay, so of course you can have the project or current file, or something called scope base, and we haven't understand what is scope mean, but yeah, here's the way to use the two. And all right, so on Windows you also have the PyCharm, and pretty much the same. I let my PyCharm just turn on, And at the meantime, I close my and also we have the terminal here. So the terminal means I just tell you to do is you come over here, you do Python, and then you can go into the Python console. In the Python console, pretty much you can do whatever you want to do with the Python code. So you just do print hello world. So you just print hello world. And personally, I use it just as a calculator. For example, when I want to do some calculation, and I would just saying, for example, 1.8 multiplied by 55. So it will show you the answer, but it's using the Python code. Okay, that's the way. Sometimes I use this as the calculator. So like here, you just go to the black box and you type Python, and you do the same thing, like 1.8 multiplied by 5.5, and you get 9.9, or 6 divided by 5. Okay, but remember that when we do 6 by 5, and you have better to put the dot here, 5.0, because if you do 5.1, it will just give you 1.2, which makes sense here. Like if you have 10 by 3, so you get something like this. Okay, but I like to, most of the time I will keep it like 5.3.0, which enforce the 3 to be a float, because 10 and 3 is integer. Yep, that's the how we use this Python console. Okay, here I turn on my Windows. In my Windows, I may just open. It's too small, and I may zoom it in, and like I open the C drive uses. So I will go desktop and projects. I choose that. I will close this. And also in Windows, they have something called preference. Since I'm using the VirtualBox, it's virtually in my Windows, so it's kind of slow. And Jesse told me that my terminal thing doesn't work. Yeah, you have to install the Python. I'm gonna show you that, but I will have my PyCharm loading in my Windows. So I'm go back to here. So in order to use your terminal work, you have to go to download the Python. So you just type Python, download. So here you will download your Python in you choose one of them, and of course, let's see, download Python, and you choose 3.x, not this one, not the documentation. You choose this one, but if you're on Windows, it should be the latest version for Windows. So you download and install in your machine. And if you are on Mac, and then you can do Mac and just download. So you just Google Python download and choose the download Python. And after you install it, it should work on the terminal. But I assume when you install the PyCharm and you have the terminal here, and you still can do whatever I did in the terminal. So really it doesn't matter. And in my Windows, I show you how to go to the preference. So probably you can find the preference in edit most of the time. It's not here. Tools. Nope. Yeah, it's called settings instead of preference. And here you go. That's the way to do. And you can change the font or the color theme, whatever you want, and you do it here in the Windows. So you go File, Settings. That's a little bit difference between my Mac and your Windows. So I'm going to close my virtual machine. And since we have my PyCharm, so I hopefully you guys already have the PyCharm like I have. If you don't, and the same, you should go to the repair it. Just go repair it and do the exercise for today, right? And let's start for our lesson today. Last week we learned something called dictionaries. So in Python, the dictionary, we use a bracket to hold items, and every items, they have to have keys and values, like keys and values, keys and values, keys and values, okay? And in order to access the item, you should access by the key. So which in here is on your left hand side, we call key and value, and we separate them by the column, okay? And once you have the you always use the variable to hold the whole dictionary, and that's why if you want to access the value, the item in your dictionary, you should use a square bracket to access the value. Called, for example, here, if you want to get what's the model value, so you should do the dictionary and the model, but you have to use a string as for the key, okay? The other way to get the item, and they also have the method called get. You just do .get and model. Now you can get to here. But since we are in Python, so we usually do this way. It's more in Python way. If you want to change the value, that's easy. You just go to pull out the item and then use the equal as the assign to assign a value to this dictionary, this item, and then you are going to change the value in this item this year. So every time you might, like in a list, you want to loop through the list, so you use the for loop. And here we are the same, and they use the for loop. They will loop through all the keys. All the keys. When we set all the keys, which means they are all in the left-hand side. This left-hand side, all the keys, like they will have brand, model, year. So that's why you can use the for loop to loop through the keys. Once you have the keys, of course, you can get to all the values, right? Because you just use the key to get to the values. Okay. And also here is that you can have the values. Just use values, and you use the for loop. You use dot values, and it will just loop through the values. But we rarely use this way. Why? Because most of the time you want to do is you have to loop through the key, and that's how we want to have the dictionary, right? But you still can access the loop through the values. Use the dot values to return, to make your dictionary to become a list, and use the dot values. Or there's another way. If you want to do the items, and you can loop through the items, use dot items. And no worry about that. You're not going to memorize all of them, but we are going to do some exercise on it, and we will practice all this method, how to loop through the dictionary you create. And there's also saying check if the key exists or not, and which is it. This means, like, for example, you have this dictionary, you have the key called brand, model, year, and probably you want to see if you have something called color in this dictionary, and you should say is color in the dictionary or not. If in the dictionary, it will return true for this expression. And also you can do just how many keys in the dictionary you use. Like we always use this function called len parenthesis. It's just a len to do that. And adding the items into the dictionary, just like you're saying, pretend there's one item called with the key called colors. And then you assign a value to the dictionary. You will have this key adding to the dictionary. And sometimes you want to remove the items from the dictionary. We barely use that, but you can see you can use something called pop. Just pop it out. Remember, like you open a chips can and you eat the first one, and you just pop it out and pop it out. Like you pop the model and you will remove the whole things, this item. And here is called pop item. You can also use the pop item. And like what they said in version before 3.7, a random item is removed instead. But before that is using the pop item to remove the last item. So we don't want that, and we barely use this method. And also we have delete. you just delete, like you have the item here, you say, oh, I'm going to delete it, and it will just delete it, just like pop. And it say, I'm going to delete the dictionary. So that's also the case. Sometimes you don't, your dictionary is really big and you don't want them in your memory. You want to say something and you use delete to delete the dictionary. And also you can empty the dictionary, like you can use clear, and after you clear, it just remove all the items in your dictionary. Okay. And there's something called copied, and it just copied the whole set of your items. And coming down is something called nest and some constructor things, something like this. So it's pretty much, you have all the methods here in this list. But in case you we don't use all of them most of the time, but yeah, like if you sometimes you want to do something, you can come back to look up this table and see what it means. And today we want to have the exercise. We do some exercise, and I will try to use my PyCharm to do the practice. If you don't have the PyCharm, you should go the Repawit to do use the Repawit to do it. Okay. So like last time I create one file called yahoo.py, and this time I may just create another file, new. I right click on the coding, the folder I just create in my desktop, and I right click and new and do Python file. So I will choose choose Python file, and then I type a name here. So I will have the name called, like today we have we are going to, like I just have the toy box. Okay, toy box. Like it's up to you, but yeah, it's just a file name you can memorize. So I name it called toy box. Right? So now you have a toy box like here. I'm going to create my toy box, and inside my toy box there should be some toys. Like for example, I have a variable called toy box, like toy box equal to, I should have the brace, a curly brace. Now I will put my items in my toy box. Like for example, I would have Lego. Okay, that is my key, and the value is how many Legos do I have. Like I have 500 pieces. Okay, so inside my toy box I have a car, a toy car. So I also have 15 toy cars. And also I may have like a train. So chain I have like 8, and I have the car game. So I have 2 box. Okay, so I divide this one And if I want to print it, toy box, and once I want to run it, I will click the run and choose run. And after you choose run, there should be a menu pop up, and now you choose the file called toy box, which is the file name you just create. Okay, you click run, and then after you click run, and there should be on your run menu on here on the bottom, it will show the result, and it just like in your palette on this side. Okay, it's a little bit different than the in the website, but you will get used to this these two. Okay, so the thing is, like, I want you to also to define your own toy box, like just this part. And if after you define your toy box, and you can copy it, you copy it and paste in the chat box, and I'm going to copy it from your toy box. And now we can do some exercise based on that. Okay, so you just define your own toy box. It doesn't have to be the same like what I have here. Okay, so yeah, in your toy box, you might just define the variable called toy box, your name, like George underscore George, so something like this. Okay, so once you have that, just copy and paste this part and put it into the chat box so I can use it for our exercise. You can copy it and paste on your chat box. Okay. So I'm also let me copy so any one of you can just put your toy box into the chat box. Yeah, I got one. So I copied this part. It's from Michael. So it's toy box Mike. In Michael's toy box, there's I don't believe it have programming and Python and Discord. change my font to smaller so you can see. And also and Helen, she have intelligence. So I want, for example, I want you to have some number, like if you are 0, which means nothing, right? So I copied this one from toy box Helen. Okay, so I have Helen. Helen, she got intelligence, but 0. Okay, so okay, okay, Helen changed it to 1, which is good. So I'm gonna change it to 1. So if you don't have PyCharm installed, because I'm using PyCharm and gradually have you guys to do it in PyCharm and get used to these two. But if you don't have the PyCharm installed, you may just do exactly what we did here in the Repel-It, right? So you will do the same thing, just define your own dictionary. Like what I have here, you have the toy box and equal to, like just type toy box equal to brace. Then in here you define the key and value, like what I have here. You define Lego. I have 500, and also I have car 15 and something like this. Okay, so you will do exactly what we are doing in the PyCharm, but you do it in the Repel-It. They are pretty much the same. Okay. All right. So yeah, so far I defined 3 dictionary. So the one is from George. So George have the toy box, and Michael have the toy box, and Helen have the toy box. And what we want to do is like, how about I will give George will give 200 Lego to Michael. Okay, so I'm going to do is like George give Michael 200 pieces Lego. Right? So see, how am I going to get 200 pieces of Lego to Michael from my 2 box, George 2 box to Michael's 2 box. So George will give Michael 200 pieces of Lego to Michael, just Mike, to Mike. Okay. So once again, if you are not using PyCharm, you can do it here. All right. So that's Eric's. So I will have Eric's copied here. Also have Eric copied here. All right. So now, so how am I going to get give Michael 200 pieces of Lego? So first, I need to I need to pull 200 from my Lego, so I need to use 500 to subtract 200, and now I only have 300 left for my Lego, and at the meantime I need to add 200 to Michael's toolbox. So in order to do that, the first one is like you would do toy box George, okay, and to access the value you use bracket and it's Lego. All right, so that Lego supposed to have 500 pieces, right? So you should have 500 subtract 200 should be 300. So I only have 300 left. But for Michael, toy box, Michael, he should have some new Lego, is 200. Okay, so that's how we transfer my Lego from my toy box to Michael's toy box. So let me just print it out and see if we did the transfer or not. We have the toy box George. We print it. We print toy box Michael, and now I am going to run it. So make sure you are choosing the file you just create as a toy box, and you click on this button called run the file, run the toy box, or you can go to your menu, click run, and now you can run the toy box, or you can use the shortcut. You hold the control key plus the R, the letter R. So either way, so I just click the green button on my side, exactly like what you did in here in the repair it. So you would do run, okay. But seems I have some problem here because I may just do some copy and paste. So let me just change it. So I may just remove the other person's toy box. Sorry guys, I remove it. So I just have my one and Michael's one here. Seems like I have some problem here. I click run again. Now after I run, so I should only have 300 Lego here, but Michael have 200 Lego in his toy box. Okay, so that's how we access the value in the Lego, and we create a new toys in Michael's toy box. Okay, so what I want you to do is like I give you 5 minutes. You can copy my code and try to run it on your PyCharm, and you will do like for example, my one is toy box George, and for you may just have toy box 1 and toy box 2. So I just use toy box 1 and toy box 2. So toy box 1 and toy box 2. So I want you to do the same thing like what I did in my PyCharm. And if you don't have the PyCharm, you should go back, use the repair it, just type exactly the same thing, define toy box 1 and toy box 2, and now you transfer the Lego from my toy box to the toy box 1 to the toy box 2. And for my toy box 1, it should be only have 300 instead of 500. In toy box 2, you will have something new, 200 here. So you will add 200 into the toy box 2. And then you do the output print. You will print toy box 1 and toy box 2 to verify if toy box 2 has 200 pieces of Lego and toy box 1 will have only have 300 because I gave 200 from toy box 1 to 200 to toy box 2. Okay, so now I run it in my repair it. It will show my Lego has 300 and toy box 2 have 200. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Once you are done, please let me know, and please put it into the chat box if you are done. And Helen, I want you to just do the same thing, and you type it. So you divide by Lego and car and chain and car game and the pieces as the value for them. So I'm not going to copy and paste because I want you to do your practice and do some typing. Yeah, you're going to transfer the Lego from 500 from the toy box 1 to toy box 2. So in toy box 1, you will decrease 200 pieces from 500. So that's why you only have 300 because Lego toy box 1 have 500 originally. Now you have 300. For toy box 2, you should have something new and 200, right? And after you run it on your toy box 2, the second one, it should show up the Lego have 200 here. Am I correct? But the first one, it will decrease to 300. That's how the dictionary works. And we do this practice because I want you to get used to the dictionary, and then we can go to the next level for the class in Python. But right now I want you to get used to this key and value. So you will understand how this object, we call it object, and in this object, and how this inside the object it has its keys and value, and they're going to keep changing in this toy box in our case. And so toy box 1, you have let go 500, and then somehow later you change it to 300 because I transfer from toy box 1 to toy box 2. So toy box 1 will have 300, toy box 2 we have 200. Okay. So today we are getting a little bit late. Now it's 3:15, but we haven't finished our class yet. So once you're done, please let me know. And yeah, and then I can continue. Okay. All right, I assume you guys have already finished everything. So let's just continue to do some exercise, and we want to try out these things, okay? And now we already add something new into the toy box, like the Lego things, 200 pieces, and we access the toy box 1, we have 500. So how about for example, I buy something new for my my car game. Like I buy a new car game, like only one new car game. So how are you going to add one more to my new car game? So you know, if you know how to do that, please just, yeah, awesome. So yeah, if you know, if I buy a new car game, I buy some new car game, one new car game, can you press 1 to my toy box 1? And if you know how to do that, please just to finish this question, and once you are done, please let me know. Yep, so it's easier, right? Because you just type toy box 1 and you give it a key, car game. Now you equal to toy box 1, the original car game, so which is 2, now plus 1. So you will add one new car game to my car game. I will let you see. Also, I will type it on my PyCharm. You do the same thing. Like if I want to add one new car game to my my toy box 1, so I just do toy box 1 and give it a key, car game equal to toy box 1, and also use car game because now the car game still have 2. I just add 1 plus 1 and add back to the new car game. Okay, so I'm going to run it one more time, and you should have the car game is equal to 3. In my repair it, let me just repair it, and I am going to run it. So my car game should be have 3. So here I originally have 2. Now I have 3. And let me repeat what I did here. I just have the toy box. I have 2 car games in my toy box. Okay, since I bought a new one, so I'm going to add 1 to my car game, my new car game. And how am I going to add it to my my toy box 1? So you use the variable called toy box 1. You access the car game value on this item, and it should be equal to 3 because you know that is 2, right? 2 plus 1 equal to 3. But I don't want you to just do 2. That's why I use toy box 1 car game. At this moment, it is still 2. It's still 2. So 2 plus 1 equal to 3. Now we assign the 3 to the car game here. Assign back to the car game here. And that's why it changed. Now it changed it to 3. And we print it out. We use the print function to print it out. And we got car game 3 in as the value here. Alright? So hopefully you understand why I use the toy box 1 with the car game here. Because at this moment it's still 2. So that's why we plus 1 and it will increase to 3. But you have to assign it back to the toy box 1 car game as the key. Use the key to access this value. So we change the car game to 3. Okay, so please also update your code in your repair it or in PyCharm, and you run it and see if you can change your car game to 3 or not. And once you are done, please let me know. Okay. Hey Michael, you should try it by yourself. Yeah, it's a good question. I'm pretty sure it will work. you can use the plus equal 1 and try that. Now we know how to update the item in your toy box, and let's just delete one of them and try see it delete or not, because like for example, my the toy box 2, the life skills, I have 500 life skills in my toy box 2. I assume that is like for example is a book, okay, or is whatever. It's just life skills, and I want to delete it. So how am I going to delete it? Because it's like for example it's a book, but it's getting old, and this life skill is not that accurate, and that's why I want to dispose these life skills from the toy box 2. So how am I going to do that one? How to delete the life skills? So if you go back here, go back to the W3 schools, they would say, how are you going to remove an item? So you said there are several methods to remove item from a dictionary. The first one is use pop. So we will try pop. So we want to pop out the life skills. So I'm going to do it here, just below my my card game, and I just type toy box 2. You are going to pop. You say pop. You say pop, right? Pop. And I'm going to pop the life skills, but don't forget it's a string. So you have the single quote to code it. Just pop the life skills. Okay, you pop life skills. And I also do it on my PyCharm, and I just do toy box 2 dot pop and the life skills. So now I run it, and your toy box, the second row should be gone because it's getting old and not accurate. That's why I disposed one of my book from my toy box. It just popped the right skills. So I will do the same thing on my PyCharm. I just click run, or you use Control R, which is a shortcut, and you do dot pop and pop it out, and it will have the life skill disposal, and it's just pop it out and gone from your toy box. Okay. Yeah, if you have any problem, and the first thing is you got some skill how to debug it, and first you may just copy the, like for example, if you have some problem, right, most of the time it will show you which line you have the problem. Even you don't know which line, or you don't want to read the error message, you might have some simple debug skill. You may just copy the whole part, select the whole part, you cut them. How to cut this bond? You can use cut, right click and cut, or you can use a shortcut called Control X. In math, you can do just like this. You have everything gone, and now you run it. If there's no error message, which means this part is correct, right? And now you Control Z, something like that, or Control V, you replace this one. And now you may do left a little bit more here, and you have the same trick. Just Control X, or in math you use Command X to cut them, and now you run it, and still no error here. You know that is correct from this part. And now, oops, sorry, you replace the rest of them, and then you do it like, keep doing like this until you found this error in which part, and then you can correct them. Hopefully you know this trick, and it will help you to do the debug and fix your problem. But here, since our code is pretty straightforward, you just have the 2 toy box, and that's how we can update my toy box items in each toy box, or you can remove one of them. All right. But in Python, we are going to do some debug. If you want, that's why we can do debug in the Python. In Repair It, you still can do debug. If you want to learn how to do it on your, you can go for your, obviously if you go for your left hand side, and there's a button called debugger. You can do debug from here, and you can just click debug on this green button, and it will start to debug it like here. Now you can go step by step, so it will show you which part is having the problem. That's some trick to do the debug. But sometimes I hate the Repair It because it just keeps rerolling and causing the problem. Like here, I have the huge problem here. That's why I suggest you guys to use the PyCharm. Okay. And yeah, in the W3 schools, obviously you can choose the pop item, which is say it will remove the last inserted item. But honestly, I rarely use this method, so you can skip it. And the other way you can do, just use the keyword called delete. DEL is stand for delete, and you can delete the item from your toy box. And let's just try it out. And I want to delete my my chain because it's Thomas and Friends train, and I'm getting old. I don't really like it, so that's why I just use delete toy box 1, and my chain, because it's Thomas and Friends, right? I'm going to delete it. So that's why I click run, and the chain should gone from my toy box 1. Okay, you can do just delete instead of pop, and you can do delete. So you can do it either way, really doesn't matter for now. So that's how we do the delete an item. And here comes something called clear. So when we do clear, it will create out everything. Like, for example, in my toy box 2, I still have programming, Python, Discord, and Lego. So my mom just saying, oh yeah, your toy box 2 is really doesn't, this item you really doesn't need it. So I'm gonna clear them out and donate to the Goodwill. So just do toy box 2 clear. And after you clear it, and everything will be gone. So you do quick run toy box. Again, your toy box will be emptied. Like what I do here, it would be emptied. Okay? And that's how we do clear. Just clear everything. Right? And the rest of them is saying how to copy it, and it would be the same you learned before, like clear. But that's how what we learned today for dictionary. In learning the dictionary is just like you understand how this variable can hold multiple items in one variable. And each item you can update, you can modify the value in this key, like the Lego, or you can delete it, and you can, of course, you can insert, like we insert a new key called Lego into the toy box 2. Okay? And don't forget there's one keyword called in. We haven't used that yet. It's just to check if there's anything in my toy box 2 or not. Like for example, you can check if I still have Lego in my toy box 2, toy box 1 or not. You would do if Lego in toy box 1, then you will print it out. You will say I still have Lego in my toy box 1. Okay, but of course you will do otherwise, right? If not else, you will say print I don't have Lego in my toy box 1. But since I used the single quote here, that's why I use the backslash to escape the single quote. Right? So I forgot one code here, and that's how we can check if we still have the Lego key in my toy box 1 or not. And once again, I am going to run it and just run. And it doesn't look, it's saying I still have Lego in my toy box 1, which is good because I have 300 pieces in my Lego. Okay, and that's how we do the keyword in, and to check if there's any Lego in my toy box 1 or not. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. And we don't have homework, so yeah, I just want you to get used to the dictionary, and then we can go from the dictionary all the way to class. Let me show you the class. Yeah, to here, class. And we are going to learn class, and which might be a little bit hard for you to understand. But once we know how to use the dictionary, it won't be any problem to understand what class mean. Classes and objects. That's what we are going to learn next week. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you for your coming to learn with us on Python dictionary, and see you next week. And also, if you have any question, you can join my Zoom, and I am going to turn on my Zoom. And one more thing is, make sure you have the PyCharm installed, because we are going to use the PyCharm to install something, to install the package, the library. Okay. Or yeah, we can use the PyCharm to install things. And if you have the problem when you doing your PyCharm, please let me know. Please tell your parent, and then we can work together to fix the problem. So that's it for today. So where's my Zoom? So yeah, you should be yeah, Abby, if you have problem to using the PyCharm, please join the my Zoom, and then I probably can help you out. Let's see, I have the PyCharm, Zoom, and then where's my tips? Yeah, here's my Zoom meeting, my Zoom, yeah. And also I'm going to